This video we're going to be talking about cones or party hats. Okay, so a cone is a solid that has one circular base, so we're going to be having pi r squareds. We also have the altitude or the inside heights, and then we also have slant heights. Remember, slant height we use when we're finding surface areas. Inside height we're going to use with volume. Okay, so lateral area is pi times radius times that slant. Okay, so go to your chart. We're going to do our first one. So first off, my radius, 35 divided by 2 is 17.5. My slant is 30. So it's pi times radius times slant. So this I'm going to get 525 pi inches squared. Okay, so going back to our notes here. My radius is 5. My slant I need to find, because remember slant's on the outside, so I do 12 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared, and I get 13. So my lateral area is pi times my radius times my slant, and I get 90 pi centimeters squared. Okay, surface area, we got to add the area of that base to it. So my pi RL is that lateral area. Pi r squared is a circular base that we're adding, and there is only one. Okay, so my radius all the way across is 10, so my radius is 5. Okay, my slant is 14. So if we're just going straight to surface area, we can go ahead and type it in. So pi times the radius times the slant plus pi times the radius squared, and we get 90 pi centimeters squared. Oops, 95. Okay, this one's going to be back on your chart. So remember, our radius was 17.5. My slant was 30. So finding surface area, it is pi times the radius. So make sure you write the equation in here. Okay, so it's pi radius slant plus pi r squared. So slant plus pi radius squared, and I get 831.25 pi inches squared. Okay, going back to your notes, here's my next one. Okay, so you got to use Pythagorean theorem, so 12 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. We get 13. So my slant is 13, my radius is 5. So pi times radius times slant plus pi r squared. We get 90 pi centimeters squared. Okay, volume. 1/3, kind of like how our pyramid was, because we can fit 1/3 of them into a prism, times the area of its base, times its height. And this one is the inside height. Okay, so go ahead and write it back in your chart, because I don't have the charts problem up here. You just go ahead and fill in that radius and that height. So go to your chart, make sure you write the equation in, and remember inside height this time, because we're talking about the volume on the inside. Okay, so my first one here, we need to use Pythagorean theorem to find my inside height. So I've got 6 squared plus b squared equals 10 squared. When I solve it all, I get 8. So my inside height is 8, my radius is 6, so v equals 1/3 times pi times my radius squared times my inside height, and I get 95.04 pi units squared. So again, if you need that inside height, you have to use Pythagorean theorem to find it. Oop, and that's cubed since we're doing volume now. Okay, my next one here, my radius is 21, my inside height is 110, so v equals 1/3 pi radius squared times inside height. So we get a big number, 16170 pi inches cubed. Okay, radius is 5, inside height is 12, so V equals 1/3 pi radius squared times height, and I get 100 pi meters cubed. Okay, so my next one, my radius is 5. We're going to need to find the inside height, so there's my right angle. So my C is 14, so I've got 5 squared plus B squared equals 14 squared. Okay, when I go ahead and solve it, I get 13.1 as my height. So V equals 1/3 times 13.1 times 5 squared times pi, and I get 109.2 pi centimeters cubed. Okay, we got to do Pythagorean theorem again. So again, that's your C. So I do 15 squared plus B squared equals 25 squared. I am getting 20. So my height is 20, my radius is 15, so V equals 1/3 times pi times 20 times 15 squared, and I'm getting 1500 pi centimeters cubed.